Hi guys, welcome back, and I have Battles 1066 with you. This is going to be part 1 of 2. We only managed to get the one game in for today. This was the Battle of Stamford Bridge. We're obviously planning to do the Battle of Hastings as well. It took us nearly 5 hours to get this game complete, but we were just having a laugh, taking our time, and of course this was a 3v3, so we were chatting in between and trying to plot ideas and all sorts, but it was an absolutely cracking game. So if we got 19 points per side, and it's the Anglo-Danish versus the Vikings. So the scenario for this game was basically going to be a combination of slaughter points and conquest points. Excuse me, the Viking side of the river, that was going to be worth conquer points for both sides, and of course adding in slaughter points as well. Now the setup being that the Vikings all have to set up on what you're looking at here on the right hand side of the river. They're only allowed 2 of their 3 warbands, and Harold has to be there. They were allowed to set up 1 unit on the bridge. Other than that, every other unit had to be set up the other side of the river and couldn't be within medium of another unit unless it was a warlord. So this is how the Vikings set up, and on the other side, basically the Anglo-Danes got to set up anywhere as long as they were long away from the bridge. So as you can see, they're already ready to set forth and start swarming the bridge. So the first turn started, and by the way, I'll let you know that all the Anglo-Danes each had a levy unit with bows, so our poor Vikings were going to be pretty well peppered for most of this. But they basically got to move everything up in their first turn. I think they tried to get a few shots off at the warriors there, trying to hold the bridge. And you can see fatigue markers down as the old trap starts playing out as well. We're using the rules which was Battle Brothers, so that's in the Crescent and Cross book. So players from the same side using the same dice, so in which case either side here, obviously all using the same dice, can then swap between players and swap dice between players, so you can get different combinations off easier. So as you can see here, it's just a shot. There was a lot of trap being played and a lot of fatigue going down in the first couple of rounds. So back to the Anglo-Danish, the Vikings just moved up the best they could do there. As you can see, they've now got an 8-man warrior back up in support of the 12-man warrior unit on the bridge. And yes, the 12-man unit's lost a couple of men to Archfire. Now Harold had Godwinson, not Archidrada, wrong way around. Harold Godwinson has pushed his unit of Hearthguard. He's got a unit of 12 Hearthguard there, all with Dane axes against the poor warriors, and pretty much obliterate them. So once again, the Vikings push up. The big 12-man unit of warriors were wiped out. Now you can see there's an 8-man unit of warriors just trying to stop the Anglo-Danes coming across the bridge. And behind them, I think there is a Berserker unit ready to counterattack and try and wipe out the remaining bunch of Hearthguard there. By turn 2, I'm going to start rolling for my Vikings, who are going to come on the right-hand side, on the Viking side of the river. And I'll be rolling 6+ on turn 2, 5+ turn 3, and obviously reduces as the time goes on. So I'll make a roll, and of course I don't turn up. So this is what they got so far. So after the Anglo-Danish turn, the guys go in and finish off. I think they do some shooting. I think they managed to shoot off most of the warriors that were blocking them. No, throw in the remain of the Hearthguard into the warriors that were blocking them. This revealed the Berserkers. They managed to shoot 2 of them off in their turn as well. But in the Viking turn, they managed to move up, as you can see here, and they also charged the Berserkers in, who wiped themselves out quite happily to kill off the last of the Hearthguard. We're probably on to turn 3 or 4 now. It's going to be an 8-turn game. So the Vikings on the top there, my Vikings have finally turned up, and now I'm going to have to dash it all the way across down to the bottom. Obviously on the first turn I don't generate any Saga dice, because only the units on the board generate Saga dice, so I basically get a free move for each of my warriors just to get them on the board. As you can see, the Anglo-Danish have also got 1 unit of Hearthguard across the bridge, and another unit on its way across. Here's just a shot at the other side, just showing my Vikings coming in there. Back to the centre and on the bridge itself, things were getting pretty bad for the Vikings as the Anglo-Danish were slowly pushing their way across. So decided to throw in the Varangian Guard. They go in, and I think they're up against Hearthguard. Yeah, the guys on the square base was Hearthguard, warriors behind. So we did try and get that little Berserker unit first to blitz them. Unfortunately, now they caught on how good Intimidation is, and we were suffering from 3 Intimidations a turn. So we're doing the best we can to get everything off, but we got up there with the Varangians, and unfortunately they were pretty much obliterated themselves, thanks to the defensive abilities of those Anglo-Danish. Yeah, as you can see there, the Berserkers were left alone. They finished off the Varangian Guard in combat. The Berserkers, I think... Look, it's hard to... I've only got a small screen here. I think the Berserkers go in now and try and finish off the last of the Hearthguard. Yes, they do. In fact, they do. Yep, they've only... the Anglo-Danish now only have one Hearthguard in that unit, so it's no longer a scoring unit. For conquest points, it's based on units. Hearthguard are worth 3, Warriors 2, Levy 1, I believe. And it has to be unit, to be a scoring unit, it has to be a unit of 4 or more. So that's how we're looking so far. So we're pushing on pretty well now. I think we're probably on to turn 6 or 7. It's getting towards the end of the game. The Vikings have been pretty well pummeled, and so far haven't got any more men in front of the bridge to stop the Anglo-Danish coming across. I'm trying to push forward my guys, but they're getting pretty well fatigued. Harald Hardrada's force, unfortunately, is left down to 4 warriors and Harald Hardrada himself. So with his, 3 or 4 Saga dice, what we're trying to do is get him to get 2 6s, and he's going to play Ragnarok while the rest of us use our best of our ability, all our battle board abilities we can on our warriors. My other player, which was a combination of Mike and Everett, I think they're pretty well hammered as well. Yes, because unfortunately they managed to lose a 7-man warrior team to shooting, which surprised everyone. Still, more Anglo-Danish coming across the board. On the left-hand side, left centre there, there's a guy with a red cloak. That's one of the Viking warlords, as well as a Hearthguard unit. We tried desperately to wipe out one of their Hearthguard and actually managed to succeed there. It only had 1 left. You can see the guy's just been pushed away there, just to stop the conquer points coming in. Also gives us a few more slaughter points as well for killing off some Hearthguard. Unfortunately, he's going to be left out there by himself due to the due to the lack of actions we can get here, due to the 3 intimidates that are generally being played. And unfortunately, the Anglo-Danes have got quite a few warriors across here. I'm sorry, his picture's a bit blurry, but this is just showing you there the warriors coming across. And we have 1 unit of Hearthguard down in front there, and a unit of my warriors just next to him there. And this is where we get to the last turn of the game. The dice there just showing turn 8 being played. They push forwards, wipe out that warlord and his Hearthguard down there. As you can see, not much left on this side of the bridge. They managed to get the other unit all the way across. And unfortunately my warriors are just not able to engage and push anything back in my turn because I'm intimidated into position here. So that is how the game ended, and that's how it looked. The end score being 46 points for the Vikings and 51 points for the Anglo-Danes. So considering that was a 3v3 game, it was extremely close. But it was an absolute brilliant game to play. Absolute blast. I do say that if any of you play Saga, I would try some multiplayer Saga. It really does change the game around. It slows it down because you're chatting a lot. But it does change the game around where you can support each other and makes more for more tactical decisions and makes for a very, very great game. So I hope you enjoyed that and you might give this a go. I want a big thanks to Nick, Mike and Everett, who came down from a little ways away and travelled for an hour to get to the club and play this. And also thanks to Alan, Max and Dan, who also partook in this, to make it a great day. And it was a really good event. I mean, 5 hours of a good laugh just to play this game. Hopefully soon I'll get Hastings on the way. Obviously I have to get everyone together, so it might be a little wave off before we do that. But now I've got both my Normans and my Anglo-Danish all ready. I'll be continuing the How to Play series on Saga and start getting that finished and rounded off. So until next time guys, thanks for watching. Farewell.